As a side note, this previous chapter is a transcription of chapter 22, the book Fundamental Notions of Endocrinology and Criminology. In order for the disciple to complete his preparation for using the Kabbalah of prediction with complete purity, which is the indispensable requirement, that's it. He can also study the 17th chapter, Esoteric Discipline of the Mind, from the book Igneous Rose, which is the complement of this previous chapter. You must profoundly meditate on the number of this chapter, 85, and on its Kabbalistic additions. Inquire with the most profound part of your soul, for herein is found the clue to the preparation needed for the Kabbalah of prediction. 85 is 8 plus 5 equals 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. 8, patience. 5, intelligence. 13, mystical death. 3, the work with the Divine Mother. 1, willpower. 4, the work with the cross with sex. Chapter LXXXVI. Prediction and Synthesis. Arcanum 1, the Magician, Man, Sword, Willpower. Arcanum 2, the Priestess, the Wife of the Magician, Occult Science, Favorable. Arcanum 3, the Empress, the Divine Mother, Material and Spiritual Production. Arcanum 4, the Emperor, Command, Progress, Success, Mercy. 5, the Hierophant, or Hierarch, Rigor, the Law, Karma, Mars, War. 6, Indecision, the Lovers, Victory, Good Luck. 7, Triumph, the Chariot of War, Wars, Struggles, Atonement, Pain, Bitterness. 8, Justice, the Arcanum of Job, Sufferings, Tests, Pains, Retribution, Karma. 9, the Hermit, Initiation, Solitude, Sufferings. Arcanum 10, Retribution, the Wheel of Fortune, Good Business, Changes. 11, Persuasion, the Tame Lion, Favor of the Law, Let There Be No Fear, Mars. 12, the Apostolate, Sacrifice, Tests and Pains, the Arcanum AZF takes us out of pain. 13, Immortality, Death and Resurrection, Transformations, indicates total change. 14, Temperance, Marriage, Association, Longevity, Stability, no change. 15, Passion, Typhon Baphomet, Failure in Love, announces dangers. 16, Fragility, the Fulminated Tower, Punishment, Terrible Fall, avoid this date. Hope, 17, the Star of Hope, signifies to hope and wait. 18, Twilight, occult enemies, hidden enemies jump out at any moment. Illnesses, no business. 19, Inspiration, the Radiant Sun, Success, Good Luck, the Philosophical Stone. 20, Resurrection, the resurrection of the dead, favorable changes. Take advantage of them. Put an end to weaknesses. 21, Transmutation, the Fool, Madness, total demoralization towards evil. The Magic Key, the Rune Olin, Antithesis, enemies of Hiram Abif. 22, the Return, the Truth, the crown of life, triumph. Everything comes out well. Power, strength, good luck. Chapter LXXXVIII, Arcanum 1. The first arcanum signifies that which initiates, that which starts, that which is sown, that which begins. Every beginning is difficult. One has to work hard because one has to sow in order to reap. This arcanum gives aptitude in order to resolve problems. It grants power as much for awakening as for dominating passions in the physical world. It tends toward the organization of the natural elements and towards the forces in movement. Gives aptitude in order to acquire, dispose, modulate, and apply. The first arcanum is the unity, the principle of the light, the Father, the world as a manifestation, the human being as a complete, living unity within himself. The foundation of reason of all actions, the synthesis of all, the initiation into the mysteries and the power to decipher and to be served by them, the volitional power. The first arcanum triumph, but with struggles due to karma. Rather, gives triumph. Kabbalistic sfera, keter. Hebrew letter, aleph. Transcendental axiom, be thou in thy deeds as thou art in my thoughts. Or your thoughts, rather, thy thoughts. Forecasting element. It promises dominion of material obstacles, new social relations, happy initiatives, the concourse of loyal friends who aid the development of projects, and jealous friends who obstruct it. Chapter LXXXVIII, Arcanum 2. By means of the second arcanum, the matrix where all the images take form is made, is modeled. The second arcanum is the thesis that plans the antithesis. It is the foundation that accumulates the waters from the water source. It is the dual manifestation of the unity. By unfolding itself, the unity gives origin to the productive and receptive femininity in all nature. Kabbalistic sfera, chokmah. Hebrew letter, bet. Transcendental axiom. Winds and waves always go in favor of the one who knows how to sail. Forecasting element. Attractions and repulsions, loss and profit, ascensions and descents, favorable inspirations to the initiative, and the secret opposition from secondary ones who try to stop that initiative going towards a good goal. Chapter LXXXIX, Arcanum 3. It is stated that the third arcanum is the mold maker. It is clear that within creation, within nature, everything is modeled by means of the verb. The third arcanum signifies success. It is material and spiritual production. Kabbalistic sfera, binah. Hebrew letter, gimel. Transcendental axiom. Thy loom is weaving cloth for thou to use, and cloth that thou shalt not use. Forecasting element. Multiplication of material goods, prosperity in business, abundance, wealth, success, obstacles which must be defeated, and satisfaction in proportion to efforts made while we are defeating them. Chapter XC, Arcanum 4. Within the fourth arcanum, there are 4 concordances. These are affirmation, negation, discussion, and seduction. Kabbalistic sephirah, chesed. Hebrew letter, dalet. Transcendental axiom, give blessings unto the labor of thy hands, and place thy heart into thy thoughts. Forecasting element, guarantees material gains, having the basis for higher enterprises, favorable results on spent efforts, and troubled conditions in order to achieve them, Friends are simultaneously a help and obstacle. Fate is proper and adverse at the same time. Chapter XCI, Arcanum 5. The fifth arcanum is indication, demonstration, teaching, the karmic law, philosophy, science, art. It is the law. It is severity. Kabbalistic Sephirah, Geburah. Hebrew letter, Hey. Transcendental axiom, I have heard of thee by hearing the ear, but now mine eye seeth thee, and my heart feeleth thee. Forecasting element, freedom and restrictions, new experiences, acquisition of advantageous teachings, love and love affairs, journeys of frustrated prosperity, propitious friends and friends who are of a sinister augury, beings and things that come and go, those who come in order to leave, those who go in order to return. Chapter XCII, Arcanum 6. The sixth arcanum is the lovers, enchainment, equilibrium, struggle between love and desire, amorous union of the man and woman, linking. It is the supreme affirmation of the internal Christ and the supreme negation of the demon. With the sixth arcanum, one is in the position of having to choose between one way or another way. Within the sixth arcanum is the struggle between the two ternaries, the mysteries of Lingam Yoni, Kabbalistic Sephirah, Tiferet, Hebrew letter, Vav. Transcendental axiom, Thou art giving me labor, O Lord, and fortitude with it. Forecasting element, privilege and obligations in the relations of sexes, antagonism and of forces, separations and divorces, possessions of that which is pursued and ardent desires which are fulfilled, where some of them satisfy and others disappoint. Chapter XCIII, Arcanum 7. The seventh arcanum is struggle, battle, difficulties. The warrior must learn how to use the staff and the sword. Thus he will attain the great victory. Our motto is Telema, willpower. Kabbalistic Sphera, Netzach. Hebrew letter, Zayin. Transcendental axiom. When science shall enter into thy heart and wisdom shall be sweet unto thy soul, then ask, and it shall be granted unto thee. Forecasting element, guarantees magnetic power. Forecasting element, guarantees magnetic power, well-aimed intellection, or union of intellect and intuition, justice and reparations, honor and dishonor, achievement of that which is pursued with determination, satisfactions and disappointments. Chapter XCIV, Arcanum 8. The eighth arcanum signifies strong ordeals. It is rectitude, justice, equilibrium. One must seek for performing good deeds at any cost, because the masters of medicine, when in regards to someone who is sick and is dying, always intend to save that person because this is the law. They accomplish the duty of performing good deeds. The initiatic ordeals are enclosed within the eighth arcanum. Kabbalistic Sphera, Hod. Hebrew letter, Chet. Transcendental axiom. Thou shalt edify an altar within the heart, or your heart, thy heart, but thou shalt not make an altar of thy heart. Forecasting element. Guarantees retributions, punishments, and rewards, gratitudes and ungratefulness, compensations for given services. Chapter XCV, Arcanum 9. The ninth arcanum is the prudent and wise hermit. It is solitude. There is great pain. In the ninth sphere is supreme pain, as Dante states in the Divine Comedy. We have to learn how to understand, we have to learn how to suffer, we have to be resigned. Those who do not fail. LXXXVI-CVIII, Yesod. Hebrew letter, Tet. Transcendental axiom. Rise unto the mount and contemplate the promised land. But thou shalt not go there, or rather, but thou shalt not go over thither. Forecasting element. It guarantees science in order for the making of discoveries, a method for when making them, caution when being served by them, advantageous associations and conceited associations, friends who help and who obstruct, light of reason and light of intuition, the first light for the immediate and the second light for that which will be. Chapter XCVI, Arcanum 10. From the esoteric point of view, the 10th arcanum is really transcendental. The circle with the point in the center is a complete phallic symbol. When the point is extended, it is converted into a line, the lingam. If the line is placed to the left of the circle, it is the number 10. All of the secrets of lingam yoni are found within this number, as well as the laws of irradiation and absorption. It is impossible to reach the intimate realization of the being without having worked with the Sahaja Maituna. The 10th arcanum is the wheel of samsara, the cosmogonic wheel of Ezekiel. We find in this wheel the struggle of antithesis. The whole secret of the tree of knowledge is enclosed within this wheel. The 10th arcanum is the wheel of the centuries. It is the tragic wheel which is the law of ancient return. It is logical that this law is intimately joined with the law of recurrence, meaning that everything comes to occur as it occurred, plus its good or evil consequences. The same dramas are repeated. This is called karma. LXXXVI-CVIII, Malkut, Hebrew letter, Yod. Note, when we make a petition, oftentimes the angels answer by showing us a clock. The disciple must fix his sight on the hour of the clock. This is the clock of destiny. The answer is in the hour. In esoteric allegory, one is always answered by the clock. We have to learn how to understand the clock. Timetable. First hour of Apollonius. Transcendental dental study of occultism. Transcendental axiom. The knowledge that thou buyest with thine experience is expensive, and the knowledge that thou lacks and thou need to buy is even more expensive. Forecasting element. Guarantees good and bad fortune, elevation and descents, legitimate possessions and doubtful possessions, recommendations of past contingencies, and circumstances which are repeated in a distinct way. Chapter XCVII, Arcanum 11. The 11th arcanum is the work with the fire, with the force of love. Persuasion in itself is a force of a subtle spiritual order. Occult wisdom states, vivify the flame of the spirit with the force of love. Persuasion has more power than violence. Hebrew letter, Kof. Timetable, second hour of Apollonius. The abysses of the fire and the astral virtues form a circle through, or around, the dragons and the fire. Studies of the occult forces. Transcendental axiom. Joyful in hope, suffered in tribulation, be thou constant in thy prayer. Forecasting element. Guarantees control of the direction which is followed that leads towards the dominion of the elements. Vitality, rejuvenation, acquisition, and loss of friends because of family matters, pains, obstacles, jealousy, treason, and resignation in order to bear the disappointments. Chapter XCVIII, Arcanum 12. The 12th Arcanum implies sacrifices, sufferings. It is the card of the apostolate. The 12th Arcanum brings many sufferings, many struggles. It has a beautiful synthesis because 1 plus 2 equals 3, which signifies material and spiritual production. This Arcanum is powerful in the spiritual and in the social aspects. This Arcanum promises struggles in the economical and in the social aspects. Hebrew letter Lamed. Timetable. 3rd hour of Apollonius. The serpents, the dogs, and the fire. Sexual magic. Work with the Kundalini. That's actually, so this is in brackets, so that's, I guess, that's what that means. That could be a book, I suppose, but it doesn't seem to be in italic or anything. So I think that's just the interpretation of these symbolic aspects. So the serpents represent sexual magic, and work with the Kundalini as the fire. Transcendental axiom. Even though the sun makes thou fatigued during the day, and the moon makes thou grievous during the night, thou shalt not take any thy feet, rather take thy feet unto the slippery. Neither shalt thou sleep when thou art on guard. Forecasting element. Guarantees contrarieties, anguish, downfalls, material loss in some conditions of life, and profit in others. Presentiments which enliven and presentiments which discourage. Chapter XCIX, Arcanum 13. The 13th Arcanum is death, but also can signify something new. It can be wealth. It can be misery. It is a number with a great synthesis. The 13th Arcanum contains the Gospels of Judas. Judas represents the death of the I. The Gospel of Judas is the Gospel of death. It is the Gospel of the dissolution of the ego. Judas symbolizes the ego, which must be decapitated. Hebrew letter Mem. Timetable, 4th hour of Apollonius. The neophyte will wander at night among the sepulchres, will experience the horror of visions, and will be submitted to magic and goetheia. This means that the disciple will see that he is being attacked by millions of black magicians within the astral plane. Those tenebrous magicians attempt to drive the disciple away from the luminous path. That's not really the quote, but the explanation of it. Transcendental axiom. Night has passed and a new day has arrived. Then thou shalt be dressed with weapons of light. Forecasting element. Guarantees disappointments, disillusions, death of affections, refusals for that which is solicited, collapse, pure enjoyments and gladness for the soul, improvements with painful enjoyment, help of friends, renewal of conditions, the good ones for the worse and the bad ones for the better. Chapter C, Arcanum 14. The 14th Arcanum is chastity, transmutations, the waters. One has to work hard by chiseling the stone without which the sexual transmutation cannot be achieved. Hebrew letter Nun. Timetable, 5th hour of Apollonius. The superior waters of heaven. Brackets, during this time the disciple learns to be pure and chaste because he comprehends the value of his seminal liquor. Transcendental axiom. Thou shalt not be as straw before the wind, neither shall thou be as the wind before the straw. Forecasting element. Predicts enmities, reciprocal affections, obligations, combinations, chemical combinations, and combining of interests, afflicted loves, devoted loves, betrayed loves, things that remain and things that depart. The first are in order to leave, the second are in order to return. Chapter CI, Arcanum 15. The 15th Arcanum is the pluralized eye, which esoterically is called Satan. The 15th Arcanum represents passion, which is based in the Luciferic fire. It is necessary to know that the principal defect is sexual passion or lust. In the Kabbalistic synthesis of the 15th Arcanum, we have 1 plus 5 equals 6. The 6 in itself is sex. This signifies that in the sex is the major force that can liberate the human being, but also the major force that can enslave him. The 15th Arcanum signifies the work with the demon. It is the process of the dissolution of the eye. Eden is sex, the internal beast. The psychological eye obstructs our way towards Eden. It is at the door of sex. In order to invite us to the ejaculation of the seminal liquor, or in order to deviate us from that door by showing us schools, theories, sects, and so on. Hebrew letter is Samech. Timetable, 6th hour of Apollonius. Here it is necessary to remain quiet, still, due to fear. In brackets, this signifies the terrible ordeal of the guardian of the threshold, before whom a lot of courage is needed in order to overcome him. Transcendental axiom. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. Forecasting element. It predicts controversies, passions, fatalities, prosperity through legality and fatality, noxious affections for the one who feels them, and for the one who is affected by them, vehement anxiety and violent situations. Chapter CII, Arcanum 16. The departure from Eden coincides with the 16th Arcanum. Eden, or paradise, must be understood as being sex. We departed through the doors of sex, and only through these doors will we return. The 16th Arcanum is very dangerous. It is necessary to awaken the consciousness in order to not walk blindly. The blind ones can fall into the abyss. The initiate who spills the glass of Hermes inevitably falls. The struggle between the brain, heart, and sex is terrible. If sex dominates the brain, then the star of 5 points, the pentagram, is inverted, and the human being, with his head aiming downwards and his 2 legs aiming upwards, is precipitated towards the bottom of the abyss. The initiate is fulminated by the 16th Arcanum. Whosoever allows himself to fall, then falls with the 16th Arcanum, which is the fulminated tower. These are the ones who have failed with the great work of the Father. Hebrew letter, Ayin. Timetable, 7th hour of Apollonius. Quote, fire comforts inanimate beings, and if any priest, a sufficiently purified man, steals the fire and then projects it, If he mixes this fire with sacred oil and consecrates it, then he will achieve the healing of all sicknesses by simply applying it to the afflicted areas. And it says the explanation here is, here the initiate sees that his material wealth is threatened and his business fails. Transcendental axiom: light at dawn, light of midday, light of nightfall. What is important is that it is light. Forecasting element: predicts unexpected accidents, tempests, commotions, deaths, benefits because of concepts from good and bad circumstances, reciprocity in love and hatred, indifferences, or rather might be a typo, in indifference, or rather, so reciprocity in love and hatred, in indifference and in zeal, in treason and in loyalty. Chapter CIII, Arcanum 17. The start of 8 points always represents Venus, the star of dawn. We find the Venustic initiation within the 17th Arcanum. The symbol of Venus shows us that the circle of the spirit must be upon the cross of sex, meaning sex must be under the control of the spirit. When the symbol is inverted, it represents that the spirit is dominated by sex. Hebrew letter, Pei. Timetable, 8th hour of Apollonius. Quote, the astral virtues of the elements of the seeds of every genre. Transcendental axiom. Some men require signs in order to believe, others require wisdom in order to act, but the hopeful heart bears everything within its hopes. Forecasting element. It predicts intuition, support, illumination, births, brief afflictions and brief satisfactions, displeasures and reconciliations, privations, abandonments, and benefits. Chapter CIV, Arcanum 18. The Kabbalistic synthesis of the Arcanum 18 is 1 plus 8 equals 9, the ninth sphere, sex. If we add 9 plus 9, we get 18. There is a balance found in it. One 9 is the positive aspect and the other 9 is the negative aspect, but the 18 in itself becomes negative, fatal. 18 is the secret enemies from the Arcanum of Twilight, because one has to fight a lot in order to work with the ninth sphere. We have to learn how to sublimate the sexual energy, where the clue or key of all empires abides. We find in the 18th Arcanum the dangers of initiation, the occult and secret enemies who intend to damage the initiation in the subterranean fight within the domains of the ninth sphere. In the 18th Arcanum, we have to pass through bloody battles against the Tenebrous, the Black Lodge, the Abyss, temptation, the demons, that do not want the initiate to escape from their claws. This is the path of the razor's edge. This is the path that is full of dangers from within and without. As it is stated by the masters Sivananda, in the internal worlds, the Tenebrous of the 18th Arcanum violently assault the student. Within the terrible 18th Arcanum, we find the witchcraft of Thessalia. Here in this Arcanum, we find the Canidio recipes, erotic magical ceremonies, rites in order to be loved by someone, dangerous potions, and so on. We must warn the Gnostic students that the intellect is the most dangerous potion the Tenebrous utilize in order to withdraw the student from the path of the razor's edge. Hebrew letter, Tzadi. Timetable, the 9th hour of Apollonius. Quote, "Here nothing is finished yet." The initiate increases his perception until he or she surpasses the limits of the solar system beyond the zodiac. They arrive at the threshold of the infinite. They reach the limits of the intellectual world, or rather the intelligible world. The divine light is revealed unto them, and with all of this, new fears and dangers also appear. In brackets, it is the study of the minor mysteries, the 9 arcades, on which the student must ascend. The axiom is, "May thy charity be an inexhaustible granary, and thy patience no less inexhaustible than thy charity." Element. It predicts instability, inconstancy, ambush, confusion, changes, uncertain situations, long deliberations, unexpected impediments, tardy results, apparent triumphs and failings. Chapter CV, Arcanum 19. In the Kabbalah of prediction, the 19th Arcanum predicts total victory, whether by personal effort or with the help of others. The 19th Arcanum is the Arcanum of victory or success. This victory is related with all the aspects of life, economical, social, political, moral, and so on. The Kabbalistic synthesis of the 19th Arcanum is 1 plus 9 to equal 10. The number 10 is a profoundly sexual number. Here the circle and the line are found, which are the mysteries of Lingam Yoni. It is only possible to reach the realization of the self through the transmutation of the sexual energy. Within the 19th Arcanum, a great alliance is established between two souls. Man and woman must kill desire in order to reach the great alliance, in order to perform the great work. Hebrew letter, Kof. Timetable, the 10th hour of Apollonius. Quote, "The doors of heaven open and man comes out of his lethargy." Brackets, this is the number 10 of the second great initiation of major mysteries that allows the initiate to travel in the ethereal body. This is the wisdom of John the Baptist. Axiom, take the shield of thy faith and advance with a determined step, no matter if the wind is in thy favor or all the winds are against thy favor. Forecasting element, it predicts the increment of power, success in determination, joy in the acts that are performed, benefits for the concept of personal efforts and efforts of others, inheritances, clarity in that which is desired, and fire that consumes the desired. Chapter CVI, Arcanum 20. The 20th Arcanum is the resurrection of the dead. Really, the resurrection of the soul is only possible through cosmic initiation. Human beings are dead and can only resurrect through initiation. The Hebrew letter is Resh. The timetable is the 11th hour of Apollonius. Quote, "The angels, cherubim, seraphim, fly with the sound of whirling wings. Where there is rejoicing in heaven, the earth and the sun which surge from Adam awaken." Brackets, this process belongs to the great initiations of major mysteries, where only the terror of the law reigns. Transcendental axiom, flower in the apple tree, fruit in the vineyard, sown with prudence. Forecasting element, it predicts harmonious choices, fortunate initiatives, labor, profit. Compensations because of good and because of bad, loyal friends that annual or annul the action of traitorous friends, jealousy for the good that is enjoyed, afflictions because of loss. Chapter CVII, Arcanum 21. The 21st Arcanum can be represented with the inverted pentagonal, a star, which represents black magic. The 21st Arcanum is calamity, insensateness, or nonsense, in other words. The Fool of the Taureau. Whosoever works in realization of the self is liable to do foolishness. One has to work with the three factors of the revolution of the consciousness: to be born, to die, to sacrifice for others. Transmutation indicates that one has to transmute. The brain must control sex. When the brain loses control over sex, when sex attains dominion over the brain, then the star of 5 points, the human being, descends headfirst into the abyss. This is the inverted pentagram symbol of black magic. The danger in this arcanum is indicated precisely by the crocodile. Hebrew letter Shin. Timetable, 12th hour of Apollonius. Quote, the towers of fire disturb. Brackets, this is the triumphant entrance of the master into the limitless bliss of nirvana, or better, the master's renunciation of the bliss of nirvana for the love of humanity, where then he is converted into a bodhisattva of compassion. A transcendental axiom, my soul does not enter into his secret, neither my ship into his port. Element, it predicts exclusion from something that is enjoyed. Frustration when trying to achieve what is wanted. Ruin in relation to that which we boast of. It is danger of isolation, perfidious gifts, deceitful promises, disillusions, the end of some things and the beginning of others. Chapter CVIII, Arcanum 22. The 22nd Arcanum is the crown of life, the return to light, the incarnation of the truth within us. The Kabbalistic synthesis of the 22nd Arcanum is 2 + 2 = 4. Man, woman, fire, and water. It is Yod He Vav He, man, woman, phallus, uterus. Behold here the holy and mysterious Tetragrammaton, the Holy Four. Hebrew letter Tav. Timetable. There is a 13th hour. This is the hour of liberation. Transcendental axiom. The sun ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and it hasteth to its place where it was born. Forecasting element predicts longevity, inheritances, notability, delight of honest enjoyments, rivals that dispute the affections, friends that care for us, obstacles and aptitudes in order to defeat them, uncertain situations and contingencies that clarify them.